Welcome back. A visual reminder now of the thread holding North Omaha together for decades and a celebration of the community in a very public way. Churches have long been a constant foundation in the Black community.
Producer Roger Hamer shows us a very special art project honoring those who worked to hold the community together, and it hopefully holds meaning for current and future generations.
An artist working on a very rare canvas, sharing a segment of North Omaha history in an unusual place.
You don't often see murals on churches, and I think it's a testament to the community, North Omaha's community, that even the churches have murals, right?
On the south side of Mount Moriah Baptist Church on the corner of 24th and Ohio Streets, a mural depicting 5 religious community leaders. Manny Cook with North Omaha Trail says the churches of North Omaha were instrumental in maintaining a solid foundation in the area for generations.
The churches play a strong role in the community, especially this community. And they, outside of just like going to church, the impact that they have on the community through their work in the community is important. And I think it's just recognizing that.
Joelle Stowett is the artist of this mural. She says she was a little overwhelmed at the prospects and the impact of her work.
Oh my gosh,
more pressure?
I'm still processing everything because I felt like I'm getting more responses from the general public. And so this sense of community, I've never seen it like this before. I've done murals before, but church just kind of brings more people together for some reason. And it's been amazing hearing people shouting on the street.
Joelle is originally from Brussels, Belgium. She currently lives in Arkansas. Joelle was contacted by church members through social media during the pandemic about the project. After a year of planning, Joelle finally made it to Omaha last Thursday. She hit the ground running, or rather painting. She's become a regular fixture here at the church.
Oh, I lost track of time. But yeah, I would say mostly throughout the day.
Pastor T. Michael Williams says this highly visible work of art is intended to commemorate all denominations in North Omaha, to be viewed by everyone in the community with 2 main goals in mind.
To present a positive message. Second, it's the opportunity for us as a church to really celebrate the Black church here in North Omaha.
Behind the faces of North Omaha's religious leaders is a choir. Joelle Stowett says that's highlighting a familiar feature of Black churches.
Basically, you're supposed to hear the choir as you're looking at it because they're all singing.
One church celebrating the history of all the Black churches in North Omaha, with an added goal of bringing everyone together as one.
We think it's a good representation of our churches here in North Omaha.
On your side near 24th and Ohio, Roger Hamer, WOWT 6 News.
Incredible work, and I love those colors. Well, the mural is at one end of the North Omaha Trail that runs from 24th and Ohio to 31st and Sprague Streets. We're told there's a soft unveiling scheduled for tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock.